Alright, so you don't know who Zain is. He's up and coming player in the region. Um, he's pretty good Marth. He won the Arcadian. He got first place over Serbian Ice. Marth vs Sheik. Very strong player. Definitely has given me a run for my money sometimes. He's from Tech. He was there this day. This was at Doll's house a couple weeks ago. Um, right after William Mary played Virginia Tech and beat them. So it came down to Zain versus Laud, and Laud ended up taking it. But Zain is very good Marth. He plays red Marth. So starting with strikes here, I'm pretty sure I gave him first strike. Generally, if I'm playing someone not like my level or above, like I think he struck Dreamland. I took out Yoshi Story and Battlefield. Guess I can see why. Marth Dittos is pretty much just your preference. You do the same stuff to each other on the same stages. I know that Zain likes to go for forward air F smash kills early if I DI incorrectly. So I took out Yoshi's because I would die very early on that stage. Also, Battlefield tends to be a very comfortable stage for most players, and I wanted to make him. So I took it down to either FD or Fountain. I've been liking Fountain a lot recently, and FD would come down to Marth fundamentals, and I was pretty confident that I could take it over him that game. So he wanted to start, if I recall correctly, yeah, he wants to start FD. Okay, so if you weren't watching last week, unfortunately the game is in black and white because the person who was streaming at that time, his component cable was kind of funky. So it's in black and white, which is going to make this kind of annoying because it's a Marth Ditto and neither of us are using tags. Can't really tell who's who, but I'll tell you right now. Best way to figure it out is the Marth with the black cape is my Marth because I use green Marth, and as you can see, cape. And the Marth that seems kind of more like gray scale is Zain because he's red. Also, I'm also third player and he's second player. Hope you figure that out. If you get confused, tell me and I'll put like some text over it or something. Yeah. Also, I'll be using my mouse to like stuff on. So he starts with an up throw at low percent. Back in match real quick. So you're gonna have to like kind of like pay close attention because I'm gonna run through stuff pretty quick. What's up, Pumbaa? Stop stalking me, please. I won't leave me alone. Please harass him in the chat. Okay, so scrubbing in Twitch VODs is kind of annoying, so you just got to watch through strikes again. So, general rule for Marth Dittos is down tilt is good, and I used to kind of just throw out down tilts without really thinking about it in neutral, but now I have a better grasp of the matchup and kind of just like, what's up, Corey? There are two things that I would say you want to use down tilt for. If you know that your opponent is going to come in, then hit him with a down tilt, or two, if you know that they're going to be like this far from you, then I would say wave dash in down tilt. And that's if they're like dash dancing and you know they're not going to shield or something. The other use for down tilt is to just threaten space. So for example, if you're like on the ledge, kind of push your way back in. But in general, especially at low percents, down tilt is your best friend in this matchup. And I'll go over this now since you're about to see it. When you're fighting Marth in Dittos, a lot of people like to go for a forward throw at 0% because then they can try and get a forward throw regrab, or just a regrab into forward throw up throw or something. So forward throw and then you get the regrab, and they'll go for up throw and then try to up tilt or something. But what you should know is that at 0%, you should never get re-grabbed by Marth after a forward throw. So if Marth, I don't know how, I don't think I can make this forward. Actually, I have a second controller. Okay, never mind. But basically, the best DI always with any character versus Marth's forward throw is down and away. So what happens if you forward throw Marth and then he DIs down and away? He'll just land in a standing animation, but he'll be too far for a regrab as long as you do something. So you can jab, you can run back. Both I think are good options. Just as long as you do something, you won't get regrabbed. So in general, I don't really recommend forward throw at 0% unless you know that your opponent isn't gonna DI perfectly. And even if they do DI perfectly and you read the dash away, like you can then try and do something. Otherwise, down throw is good, up throw is good, as long as you're not sacrificing forward throw and then, you know, try and do something, I guess. Otherwise, up throw is decent and down throw is decent. That's at 0. At above 0, I actually don't mind going for the forward throw. And actually above 0, I recommend that. Because if they DI down and away, they won't be standing. They'll actually be on the ground, so they'll be forced to tech. And basically, you just get a free tech chase out of that, which is something that most Marths aren't willing to do, but they should be doing. And then, if they DI away, you get like forward airs or dash attack, or at certain percents on certain DI, you get pivot F smash, which obviously is very rewarding. There you go. So, that in mind, going into this. So I start with 2 down tilts. He goes for an up throw there, which is fine. It's a little bit above 0%. I actually, in Marth Dittos, I almost never go for up throw because I know that Marth can always just jump out. And it's nice to get Marth's jump, but I feel more comfortable going for forward throw or down throw just because I want to push Marth to the ledge as much as possible rather than juggle Marth. So he got an up air on me, but it was a weak up air and he didn't really get much out. And if you notice what I did just there, I DI'd down and away and got a tech. Okay, yeah. So he goes for an up throw, double jump. I lose my jump, but he has to use his double jump to get the up throw. So he's gonna grab me, and then I DI down and away, as you can see, and it's just too far for him to get anything. He goes for a forward smash, but really nothing you can do except for tech chase. So I just went for the nair, waited for his tech, got another throw. He DI'd incorrectly and got down tilted. So if you've been paying attention to my videos recently, then you know I'm kind of starting to do a lot of dash dance pivot jabs in neutral, just because I think it's good. And if you're dash dancing for the purpose of forcing an option out of your opponent, that's like a good way to kind of just whack them, especially at the ledge. Like at the least you'll get 4%, and then maybe you'll get 6% if you get the tip, or maybe you'll get lucky and they'll DI badly and then you kill them. You don't really lose a lot for going for a jab in that kind of situation, as long as you know that they're doing something into it. I try and go for an edge guard, but I fail. I try and crouch cancel down tilt his up B, which doesn't really work at certain percents. I don't know why I was trying it. I thought I might have been low enough to crouch cancel, but I was not. So yeah, just like that. The more DI down and away, and he doesn't get anything out of it. If Marth DIs forward air decently at like high percents, can't get a Ken combo or you can't get a nair or something, just go for an up air. You'll get extra damage. Marth will be and you can just get back to the ground. Try and resume it. So what I was looking for right here, second. When Marth is coming down at high percent, what I'm looking for is a non-tipper forward air. Okay, I think my computer doesn't want to process both of them. But I'm looking, when he's coming down, I'm looking for a non-tipper forwarder so I can push him off the ledge. When Marth is at like mid or high percent, what you want to aim for is to like shove him to the ledge as much as possible, and then go for an edge guard opportunity. If you edge guard properly, then it doesn't really matter what percent Marth is at, because he'll just die. Recovery is virtually only vertical. Up air. I'm trying to bait something out, air dodge or something. Some Marths come down with air dodges. You can beat air dodge with forward air and just shove him off, but he doesn't bite. He jumps to ledge, which is smart. More tech chases. And I just need to grab... Okay, I went Marth Killer, which I don't think is a good idea. Because he did have a jump and he did have an air dodge. Okay, at that point he couldn't really do anything. He could air dodge, but I could literally just up tilt again and he would get him. There's those down tilts in neutral. At low percent you can go for down tilt grab. Thanks to whoever followed. Okay, recovery. Get onto the ledge. Or onto the stage rather. He tries to get me with a pivot, but that doesn't work. Ooh, I got greedy, and okay, that again. Got kind of an early kill on him. Okay, so starting with this grab, I think I forward throw him and I get a couple forward airs, and I try and go for the greedy spike, which doesn't really work out for me. But at the very least, you force them to go low and kind of make your opponent panic a little bit, showing that you're at least willing to go off stage for the spike at low percent. Okay, never mind. Here's where it is. Forward air, run off dare. So if he had double jumped right there, he would have gotten spiked. So I force him to not jump. And at that point, he's going to want to try and go for a sweet spot recovery. So if you're Zain right now, you need to time a sweet spot recovery. What you risk by taking the extra time to go for the sweet spot is that I would get on the ledge and edge hog you. So maybe actually that might have been what he's trying to prevent at this point. But instead of getting on the ledge, I down tilt him because I didn't have enough time to do anything else. So after the down tilt, he doesn't have a jump. I don't think he has his side B, or if he does, it won't help him very much. The first thing I do as soon as I notice he doesn't have a jump and I've pushed him off the stage is grab ledge. And then he dies. So big lead. And what I did kind of there, I sort of stole from PPMD. I noticed while he was playing in a Marth Ditto, I think it was versus Cactar or someone, his movement was really tricky. And like, just objectively tricky movement, I think is underrated. Specifically like his uses of dashes out of wave dashes. So literally just like running around your opponent without the intention of actually like trying to hit them. Literally just running around can be good because they don't know where you're gonna go, and you can kind of use that to waste their invisibility. And that's what I did with him. Usually against some characters I'd go for the ledge, but like why put myself in that bad position if I'm already at 125%? Like I might as well just kind of dance around him, risk getting grabbed, and if he grabs me, what does he get out of it? Nothing. Like a tech chase at best. He has to make a hard read to get any kill off on me off of a grab at that high percent. So I do this little dance after I kill him. Happens right now. In a sec. Forward air, down air, or down tilt, and then. So here's the little dance. Ooh. Getting kind of greedy at that point. I got center stage again. I went for the down throw there at 0. If nothing else, I get position. He went for the down smash, which I think I should have gone for a nair there. That down air in neutral was supposed to be a down tilt. I mess up a lot of wave dash, turn into short hop nairs, or short hop dares, unfortunately. Yeah, that DI on forward throw makes the matchup really difficult. And there I failed to DI. It's kind of hard. Okay, it's kind of hard to get the, unless you know that you're about to get grabbed. It can be difficult to DI properly, and then you'll just get re-grabbed. So if you catch them by surprise, it's fine to go for a 0. It is kind of a risk. I'll look real quick at what I do. One of my favorite kill setups now is a nice forward air into pivot forward smash. Like, pretty standard Marth combo. Forward air forward smash. But people have started DIing away, so I started compensating for the pivot. Sometimes you sacrifice the chance for a tipper out of the forward air, but you have to react a little bit less, and you guarantee a forward smash anyway. I mean, you don't guarantee, but you increase the likelihood of landing a forward smash. You also just kind of assert dominance in the face a little bit. I like down tilt and pivot tipper as well. So that's what I end up killing with stock. Right there. Proper DI gets me right to the ledge. And I go for something fancy here. Probably didn't need. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, the key to killing Marth is to just shove him off the ledge. If you see he doesn't have a jump, or he's air dodged or something, literally just whack him with your sword as long as it's not a tipper hit, and you'll. If you see an opportunity, that should be your first instinct. So I'm waiting for a jump here. I was trying to style. Yeah, I just whacked him off, and he dies. Great, solid. Game 1. And this is a best of 5. This was winner semi or loser semis. No, this was. I think this was losers quarters actually. So he took me to Yoshi's, and I know Yoshi's his favorite stage, or one of his favorite stages. So I was not too surprised by that pick. How it turns out. And I'm right there. I come down with quarter. Stage control is super important on the stage. You can lose it at any second. There. Oh, that was... Okay. On this stage, because it's so small, like, every little movement is significant in how you assert your control over space. So I think that Zain has been working on his pivots with Marth, but I think they're not quite as consistent as mine are yet. I'm also like working on a lot of weird ways to kind of like incorporate them in neutral, which I think ended up giving me the advantage in that match. And no, the person who was running the stream just didn't correct the names on. It says Milkman, but it's actually Zain. But yeah, sometimes even just like an empty pivot, if you hit someone onto a platform, kind of do an empty pivot, you can wait for them to do something, and then let me get on a stage and shoot. So for example, if I hit Marth onto this platform, and I pivot towards him after like a forward throw or something, let's say he's in a tech situation. Either has to tech away, in which case I have that option. Or he techs in place, or techs toward, or doesn't do anything. And I like the options that I have when my back Marth, And really, it's just preference. Like I could have just wave dashed forward, but you have a little bit more control over how much space you cover if you use wave dashes with the pivot. So my options here are like air, back air, up air, which changes a little bit because you're coming from behind, and you always get shield breaker. So just kind of like mixing up which options that you. But you'll see that pretty early on in this match. So to recap, this is game 2. I won game 1, and I'm the black caped Marth. And that's where I did the pivot, and I wait to see what he does. And he rolls away, so I wave dash with him and go for that. That again. That's also sort of a preparation to see if he DIs incorrectly and could get pivot F smashed out of my forward throw. But then wait for him to pick an option. Luckily, actually, I think I read that instead of reacting. I definitely did not react. So out of the pivot, if I wave dash back, I actually also get the up tilt. That might have been what was going through my head at that time instead. And I kind of choke away the edge guard, but what I went for there was edge get up, the normal get up. Good. If Marth is up being this way, it's hit by that hitbox. I can show. Gets hit by the one like right before this, it'll knock him back off the stage, and then you can do something like I'd recommend grabbing ledge again, and then reacting, but I don't do that. I jumped to the stage. Maybe it was a miss. I go for the forward throw pivot tipper, which works because he not DI that forward throw properly. There's the tech chase. So I've started using pivots a little bit in my tech chase. Kind of helps you cover a couple options. You forward throw Marth, and he's up like over here-ish. My mouse. He ends up in front of you, and then techs towards you, which a lot of Marths will do. I'll do the forward throw. I'll pivot towards them, and then I'll short hop. So if they tech in place, you get a back air. If they tech towards you, you get a down air regrab, which is kind of guaranteed at low percent. If they DI away from you, then you're standing here and you've thrown out an aerial, but then you have stage control. And depending how far they DI'd away, you get a forward smash. So I kind of like that option. It's one of those kind of wacky little uses for pivot that I found. I might get it on him. I don't remember if I anyways. Fuck. There's the pivot that I wait for. Actually, I think I did a pivot jump too quickly. It might have been hard to see. I don't think I should have done it that quickly, unless I was actually going for the which. This were really good. Wow. I think I forward smashed him just to make sure that he would not land on Randall or anything. It was kind of a gut reaction, praying that he was going to get the tech. Very late in air. And he has no jump. Oh, he did have a jump. I was wrong. Okay, there. That's what I was talking about. That again. Exactly what I was talking about. jump. I got the tipper effer off the stage when I definitely wanted weak forward air. Or, I don't know if that's ever definitely forward air so that I could whack him off and get a jump. Proper DI. Okay, and here's the forward throw. What I was talking about before, just to recap. Forward throw, and then pivot towards them, and then jump so that you can cover the tech towards you. Theoretically, like, there are other punishes you can get. I just like that one because you get a dare and a grab. So it also kind of makes them more likely to tech towards you because in their head, as soon as they see Marth dashing towards you, the idea is to get through him so that he can't punish you. So forward throw, pivot towards, down air, grab, or something. If they're at low percent, you get a regrab. If they're at high percent, you can try and follow forward air or an air or even dare, like dare pivot F smash. Slow mo is really dare, and I wanted a forward smash, but he little moonwalk action there. One thing I noticed, one of the nice things about this stage, I don't like doing it too close to the ledge, like just down tilting, but sometimes if you're playing around in neutral and you find yourself just on the left side of the, so like the space it covers is okay, like that space, as opposed to the space where it's found. Because of the angle you poke into the air, you get slightly better coverage. Ooh. I went for a pivot past, or I dashed past him and then pivoted back and grabbed out of a forward instead of. So instead of doing like forward air grab, did forward air and then pivot past forward air, pivot grab. I guess sometimes you do that to mess them up. Also, can put you in better position for certain throws. Or good back airs from him. Also, okay, just a random forward smash kill. Just a tidbit. If you're playing on this stage, as soon as you know that you're in a recovery position and you need to recover, first thing you need to do is look at the clock. That you know if Randall's going to be there. So if the 10 digit on the seconds is odd and it's about to hit 4, it's going to be on the right side. If the 10s are even and it's about to hit 4, the cloud will come out on the left side. Right now it's at 3 minutes 15 seconds. I know in 1 second Randall's going to come out. If I'm still recovering after that 4 seconds, I know he'll be somewhere out in the drop zone, even if the camera's not on him. So I'll be like out here. I know that Randall's here. I can just aim for him. Same thing on the other side. 0 is in, trying to recover, it pops up, then you can get. That should be the first thing you look at when you're trying to recover on this stage. Because you're far out, you just suddenly that gives you an extra recovery option. Game 3 or game 2 is pretty clean. One more game in this set. He takes me to battle. I recall this goes a little bit better for him. The other matches did. Okay, that was a very good example of what I was talking about earlier. Remember what I said before? where forward throw Marth at 0, and he dies properly, you can literally just dash away and you won't get regrab. So I do that. He grabs me and gets a forward throw, and I DI away, down and away, and don't get regrabbed. I might punish him for it. So I'm right there, and he grabs me. I'm gonna DI down and away. I'll end up like right here, and then I'll dash away. Right there. Okay. So not only do I dash away there, I actually get a pivot grab. If you know that Marth is gonna go for a grab, then I guess you might as well just go, because you will land it. Sometimes it's safer to just like back off and wait, even if it's just a regular pivot and wait. You see that he's gonna grab. You have time to decide what you want to do. Like maybe I could have gone for pivot, dare, grab. Definitely would have worked at that percent. Bit of a flub. There's the forward throw pivot F smash. I mess up the Marth killer. If you don't know how the Marth killer works, I'll explain super quick. Basically, you roll towards the ledge, you hold Z, and you hold back. So it looks like on your hands, it roll Z and back. That's it. Again, roll, hold Z. Literally, you can just hold. Marth is in my way. So you roll, you hold that direction, and then you just, and then you're light shielding. And basically, if Marth hits your shield, he will, if he up Bs, he'll hit your shield. You get knocked off. So the idea is to, as soon as his up B hits your shield, you gotta press down, and that way you'll fast fall onto the left. You'll fast fall onto the ledge, and you'll edge hog. That's it. There are some fancy ways to do it. Also, fall off, and then you get a forward air. I don't know if I actually did that or not. Match. I definitely go for it a couple times, and there's pretty much no reason to go for that over the Marth killer, except it's more like. Oh, he got. Okay, yep. That's what I was talking about before. Wait for us. Just a reminder: if the opposing Marth has no jumps left, you want to whack them. If they use their side B or they use an air dodge, you want to just weak forward air them as long as they don't have a jump. That's the best way to get a kill. So he jumps there, and I wait for him. Falls, then maybe I can go for a forward tilt or a jab or down tilt or forward smash. But if he air dodges or side Bs, which a lot of Marths like to do in this scenario because covering against Marth without a jump is dangerous, and he didn't want to go low, then I can just forward it. So I wait, he side Bs. I'm just waiting there. Wait for the side B to finish and whack him off. Okay, and then I mess up the edge guard. And nobody for it. So I'm at the ledge, and okay. Again, down air, he misses. Back him off. I think what I should have done instead of going for the second forward air is or go back to this. But then he gets stage position as I'm trying to recover. So he is dash dancing back and forth, like asserting his control over all this area. The safest thing for me to do right here is to try and just sneak into his space and hit it. So I go for wave dash forward down tilt. He doesn't hit, but I assert my space, or my control over that. I think I Roy's right there. Ooh. Unfortunate. Okay. What he went for there was good. He went for the wave dash off back air. Fast follow. Yeah. Wave dash off back air. Very strong edge guarding tool. I actually don't. But unfortunately, he goes too low for it and then misses his up B. I actually made it back onto the ledge. I would have been dead. Oh, and then I fast fall past the ledge. It was a good option from him. I don't know how he missed. He should have spiked me. That probably would suck. Yeah, and that's the DI. If he does neutral DI or just DIs away, you get it. Literally what I was just talking about earlier. He went for the he was trying to recover. He uses double jump. The follow. Uses double jump and he went for the side B. And I just went up and hit him with. This time, he goes for an air dodge, and I do the timing is almost exactly the same. Goes up, air dodges, and then I get the forward. I didn't get the weak forward, which is what I wanted. I try for it, and I try to get him with the reverse hitbox of the jab attack, but none of that worked. But it racks on damage. There's that pivot jab again. He goes for the pivot forward smash this time, and I lose my jump. Actually, let's go back and look at that again. Where I mess up this properly. Have you noticed when he gets the pivot forward smash on me, he actually eats my jump with it. I tried to jump out of it, but I think it's kind of foolish, especially since I know I didn't DI properly. Jab, I miss, he goes, and then he gets my jump. You have to look out for the little bubbles. And he just wave dashes off with a shield breaker. Another good edge guard. I think I would have gotten the tipper if I did a max. But I did not. Getting a little... Down tilt, down smash works if they check. Not mess. So let's look at what I tried to do. Oh, he set neutral. Okay, and I see him falling. Depending on what he does, I have a couple options. Jump, but he would risk getting forward aired by me. But I think he's gonna fall to the ledge, so I go for a down tilt. I think it was the correct option, but I might have missed time. Go for the down tilt. Okay, no, he actually just jumped away. That was... But he doesn't have a jump. And I ledge get up. He did what I did, what I was doing that time. Taking notes. He went for the forward throw pivot setup. And he jumps away from the down tilt. And I try and go for that, but his high up, he covers that. So he gets a forward throw and then pivots. What he actually should have done there. I like the pivot down air grab, like I was saying earlier. But if Marth jumps instead of teching or something out of the forward throw, then you get a pivot back air. And it's a really nice back air. Like, you get the full range of it because you're coming from your standing animation. If you were doing a dash dance and then the back air, like for one thing, you'd be dashing away, wouldn't get the full. You'd get this like diagonal back air, but standing, you get like a nice full back air. This pivot and back air. It's kind of a weird input. If You haven't practiced it, which is why you should practice. That's one of the things that I'm trying to implement recently. I need to get more consistent. You get a lot of options out of it. Pivots out of it are really easy. Already turned around. And yeah, Sam, I don't know what's up with this black and white footage. Some lame streamer messed up. And there was his opportunity for the back air. Forward air is good too. And he goes for the shield breaker again, which again is a decent option. But that time I got a little bit below him and managed to sneak in with. A jump. Okay. Ooh, I messed up. Okay, that was like a super pivot F smash because he jumped into that. If he didn't jump, he would have been alive, and I would have whiffed. But literally just like that, his stock kind of vanished. If you notice, after I respawn, I kind of slow the match down a bit. I know that he's getting a little nervous, so changing the pace of the match. If you're a little, so I slow down. I don't even fast fall. Usually, I have a couple other tricks that I do when I'm coming down from the platform, but I don't do any of them. Back here, wait for him. Option. Get back to center. Forward throw, pivot, or no, sorry, that's the one I messed up. Okay, forward throw, pivot. He's gonna. And I messed up my DI on that one at 0, so he got a free run. That DI was crucial. That DI was incorrect, actually. Not perfect. Otherwise he could have gotten the dash. Ooh. Not capitalize on my bad DI. That's one thing to note. If you are at the ledge, Marth down tilts you, and you're still invincible, on the pullback of his down tilt, you have enough time to go for a quick ledge hop forward air. So, as soon as you see him whiff a down tilt, the first thing you should do, or sometimes, is to go for this forward air, because it's pretty safe. You can also go for nair. I like the forward air because it pops them up. Also, nair can be crouch cancelled a lot of the time. Tipper fair is kind of a good way to just test the waters. If they're crouch canceling it and you hit part, you should still be safe, regardless of their. I think at like 0 or near 0 they can get help, but in general, I like that option. Ooh, okay. I think the exact same thing that I mentioned that happened twice earlier. That's actually a habit of Zain's that I was capitalizing on here. Is when he doesn't have a jump, he'll go for his side B or he'll go for an air dodge when he's coming down. Not a good habit. Like you can use them and they're decent options, but in excess, not good. So here's the missed down tilt and then forward air. Okay, so I hit him. I run back with him, hit him with a pivot forward smash. My favorite things. Doesn't do anything out of that forward air. He could have up aired me. Okay. Forward air. And we run back and I get the immediate. I read his roll. That's what it is. So he rolls and I threw out the pivot forward smash. If he stays in shield, if he stayed in shield, it would have been a little riskier on my part. you roll away and I whiffed my forward smash, or if he jumped and I whiffed, I'd still be in a good position. I would have stage control. He would be either in the air or far away. Yeah, you should do that, Sam. I want to see some of these. Also, it's easier for me to do like analysis on a YouTube video than it is on a Twitch. I hit him with a forward smash, and then he jumps up there. He sees me running towards him, and he gets afraid, which he should not. So he does his bad habit. Side Bs, and I'm crouching. The crouch is because if he doesn't side B and he falls, I catch him with a down tilt. Otherwise, I'm preparing for another option. So side Bs, whack him off the stage with a he DIs properly, you get a Ken combo, he DIs properly, he just dies anyway. And that